One thing the offense must change in 2022. I have three. But the one thing he was speaking of is something that is a trend around the league that Dallas, just for whatever reason, will not wake up and do. Even with a young offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore. It is no shock to me why Miami went with Mike McDaniels. He's hip. He's hip to the ways of the NFL, and they have a quarterback that I think will benefit greatly from the way Mike McDaniels does things. And again, his article is titled "One Thing the Dallas Cowboys Must Change in 2022," and he's talking about the pre-snap, at-snap motion. And let's go ahead and just jump straight into my number one need of improvement with Kellen Moore, because it ties into this article written by Mauricio. He states more pre-snap, at-snap motion, and I will add in more misdirection as well with that. For whatever reason, ladies and gentlemen, as we've talked about ad nauseum here on this channel, especially in the back half of the season, all of that seemed to stop. And there are numbers that indicate this. Dallas Cowboys are the team that uses the least motion at the snap on design run plays, and they rank 29th in motion at the snap in dropbacks. That's something that has to change. When you go look at some of these successful offenses, new age, I should say, and I don't want to act like all of pre-snap, at-snap misdirection is the best way, but the Kansas Cities, the Rams, the Niners, Cincy, these teams use more misdirection and at-snap motion than the Dallas Cowboys. Again, there's more than one way to skin a cat. But for a copycat league, you would think doing that more often, right, would be something that would be successful. Let's just take a look at, let me see if I can find some of it here. Hold on. Because we showed some plays where this at-snap, pre-snap stuff worked. I just got to find it, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. We showed where some of these plays worked. 21 personnel set, and we'll get back into one of my top 3 things as well involves him. Misdirection. That's 2 plays in a row I'm showing you here, misdirection early in the season. And we just never seem to go back to this. And I know there's a conspiracy theory out there that Jerry and Steven said, you know, hey, don't do any of this. I don't even like to call this cute. This is just new age football. Don't do any of this new age football stuff. Line up and run it. That very well may be true. And if it's true, that's a detriment to this team. But this stuff works. This stuff works. Already VOK says fired Kellen Moore. Caesar says opposite of where we found all of our success. KC and everybody else but the 49ers and Rams did it just as much as we did. No. The Cowboys were last in least motion at the snap on design run plays and 29th in motion at the snap and dropbacks. Do what works for you. This stuff works. How many times did we see them line up in shotgun and just run up the A-gap? The real Darrell says, Michael H., the RPO puts your quarterback at a risk of injury. You can run that in college when you play teams that do not have a talent in the NFL. So I think we get it confused with RPO and read option. RPO is run pass option. I would like to see a little bit more of that. I'm not necessarily saying a whole bunch of it, but the read option is basically I'm going to put it in the running back's hands, or I'm going to pull it and run myself. I don't want to see Dak do a ton of that outside of the red zone, green zone. Maybe on a 3rd and 2 or something like that, or, you know. I'm cool with that. I don't really necessarily need to see Dak Prescott run a ton. When I say misdirection, I don't mean, using Dak like Lamar Jackson. I'm saying utilize misdirection to help your offense. It clearly can, no matter how bad you think the offensive line is, because, we get on the offensive line because we can. It's our offensive line. But when you go look around the league and you stack it up against some of these other offensive lines, it's not as bad as we make it out to be. So, cool, your offensive line is struggling. How do you help him? Well, let's move this defensive tackle. Let's make him think for a split second. Let's move this this linebacker. Let's make him think for a split second. Let's attack the edges. Let's utilize our speed guy, which again we'll get to in my one of my top 3 needs of improvement with one Kellen Moore. Let's do more of this. Wham blocks, traps. These things all seem to disappear the more and more we went on to the season. So bring that back, Kellen, and I think you're on the right track to getting better as a play caller. Again, I get it. It's only 4 years in. Most play callers aren't the greatest this early in their careers. He will get better. It's just a matter of when will he get better.